Welcome, everybody, to this brand new Farghoulnauts episode. We're doing some more Universal Monsters watching. We just finished watching Frankenstein by Boris Karloff and Colin Clive and all those greats. And
James Whale was he the
James
director?
James Whale directed, yes. And then we're moving on now to Dracula with Bela Lugosi. Another 1931, same year as Frankenstein.
Have y'all seen it?
Dracula?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen Dracula. Have you guys seen Dracula?
I was gonna say I watched it for the first time a couple weeks ago, probably.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Well, then
I was talking about on the first time we did this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these things I've seen bits and bobs of on TV growing up, but like I never rented it or anything, and never caught it fully on TV. Or I was a shitty little kid who's just like, this is boring because it's black and white and whatever. And then when I was older, never rented it. So, and then never had the streaming services that had it on there because I didn't like them. But it's on Prime now, I believe.
Yep, this is what we're watching on.
Yeah, so easier attainable than getting fucking, what was it, Peacock or whatever the fuck they were always on.
Sure.
But yeah, so like never saw it in full until like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, we're gonna get into the OG Bela Lugosi Dracula. So stay tuned. We're gonna watch it and then discuss it.
Old boy's buried in that Dracula cave, dude.
Well, there we have it. That was Dracula.
Dracula. Yes.
Do you know what this really made me excited for? Was the Rob Eggers Nosferatu. Oh my god.
It's gonna be tight. So excited.
Well, from what I can tell, are you guys getting the vibe that it's going to be like black and white too?
I don't think it is.
You don't? Okay. I hope that like
trailers weren't they?
I'm forgetting now. Like maybe it's just like my headcanon and I just want it to be. Yeah.
I could totally see doing a black and white release. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just turn the saturation down on my TV when I watch it. But yeah, it got me excited for that. I'm super excited to watch that. And the imagery in this was amazing. Like we were talking about immaculate imagery and Dracula's castle and shit. Like once we got in there proper to the castle.
Yep.
So cool. Like there's the castle itself.
First and foremost, what I wanted to fucking bring up was the where all the sets and the fucking matte paintings and all of that. They were just so pretty.
Yeah.
So pretty.
And when you see him for the first time, like he was kind of an idiot. Like where he put his coffin, like just out in the open. Like anybody could like stumble upon it. Like, what the fuck is this?
Well, you didn't know. He didn't know that fucking Van Helsing was gonna know.
Right.
I also found it interesting, like, and I kind of like this more, maybe, but how, like, in the original, I think, based off of the Bram Stoker's Dracula that we watched, a while ago,
Gary Oldman one or the Coppola one.
Yeah. Jonathan Harker is the one that goes over to do the deal with Dracula.
Yeah.
And then comes back. This time, though, they changed that where it's Renfield who goes over. And, like, I think it's a kind of clean change because it's like, then you gave, like, an origin for Renfield, essentially, right there, and why he is the way he is. Instead of the other one where you just kind of meet him and he's already in the throes of it.
Right.
You
know. The story is, if you could like condense the story down to like a couple sentences.
Yeah.
What is it?
Dracula buys an estate in England, goes there, fucking, I don't know, eats people. Again, bites a couple people, one being one of the main characters of the movie. And then it's the cast figuring out how to save her. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the main story. He's like he wants to buy property in London because maybe he's not getting a lot of food where he's at. People are
I'm
freaked
not
out about him.
clear why he goes to London 100%. Have either of you read the book before?
Yeah, I haven't.
Wilson, have you read the book? Wilson? Are you broad-show napping right now?
He probably got in the comfy position. He has his lights off and everything.
I get it. I understand. But I've never read the book before, so I don't know exactly what this one did versus the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I just know. I thought I read that the idea with those movies, the 90s ones, was to be like closer to the novels, but I could be wrong. At least the Coppola one.
Yeah. Maybe there was a lot more of the. I know that there is, because there's in the book, from what I can tell. I mean, they made a movie on that part of them traveling from one place to another.
The meter.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Changed the name of the boat to the Vesta for some reason.
Right.
I don't get that.
But it is the Demeter that they travel from Transylvania to London, and like I think that's a whole like plot where Dracula is like feeding off the corpses or feeding on the crew.
That's just it's just implied in the book. Like they like charter the ship, and then they go, and then when the ship arrives, everyone's dead, and that's it. You don't get an explanation of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that movie was a thing, was to explain what happened, or to show what happened on the Demeter.
Yeah, have you seen that?
I haven't. I want to though.
Yeah, I think
it's on one of the streaming things right now, if I remember correctly. That I saw it the other day.
Yeah, other imagery that I really liked was the Phantom Carriage. Or, I mean, if you've ever seen the Phantom Carriage film, it's another expressionist kind of film, a silent film, where like death rides on this carriage and like visits people's dreams and stuff like that.
Right.
And then they harken back to that in this, and that's been a symbol of Dracula and vampires. Well, not all vampires, but like mainly Dracula. Traveling,
not all.
traveling to a location, and then finding out that you are being carried on a horse and buggy, driven by no coach. And that, and just because I've been playing it recently because it's the spooky season, Bloodborne, there's a sequence where you actually go to a Dracula's castle type place that's kind of hidden away. You get like an invitation, kind of like how Renfield or people get invitations and have to like keep it hush hush. Only certain people can be invited, and your character gets invited to this castle, and you travel on this like haunted carriage. Like this carriage just shows up, not driven by it's driven by horses, but the horses are undead, and there's no coach. You just get on, and it just like transports you to this Dracula's castle type level. And
interesting.
I just love that imagery of just being driven by nothing, and it just things know where to go and know where to take the individual.
The matte paintings and or models for that sequence in the movie were awesome.
Oh yeah, going up to the
Mm-hmm.
house, and yeah, when Renfield like opens up the doors and everything like that, and
Yeah.
he's looking out. Yeah, there's the matte painting of the carriage going up there.
Yep.
Oh,
It's the use of their setting and their effects and whatever their lighting, all that really set a huge tone in the movie. You just had like a well established tone.
right. And there was a lot of like camera trickery to like hide the effects, I guess. Where like whenever Dracula was gonna come out of his coffin, they kind of like pan the camera over to a window and then pan back, and he's like, "I'm here already."
I never understood that unless it was just a to make it look smooth and cool
Right.
to not show this guy try to climb out of a coffin and then
Because climbing out of a
stand
coffin
up.
is you
So
look
they're
kind of
just
like a
gonna like, oh,
nerd.
it's opening. Yeah, it's opening. Oh, I'm gonna look away, and then I'm gonna come back, and Homeboy's gonna do the smoothest fucking stand up you've ever seen in your life.
Right. No, I just think you having like the old man grunts when you like try to climb out of something like, ugh,
Yeah, Dracula can't look cool doing that,
you know, nobody looks cool getting out of something. No.
let alone fucking Dracula. And that man is, you know, portrayed to be the dude with the highest level of riz that's ever existed. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's got Riz up the wazoo.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
He can like mesmerize people, and maybe people have taken that stance or like that connection of like him being the first Jedi mind trick person, and like
and using the Vader trick.
and using the Vader like force pull, and yeah, kind of like that grip that
And
Vader has when he's like choking people out.
you can't deny that Vader has a fucking Dracula-ness about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got the cape and everything.
And then it's like, which is almost, goddamn it, George Lucas, I'm gonna praise you. Uh, but it's almost like you got Frankenstein and Dracula in one, right? You got the fucking lumbering,
It's
you
like
know,
taking your favorite creatures that you grew up like loving and like compiling them into one thing, because it's like a
yeah,
samurai, obviously, it's
yeah, yeah.
a wizard, and then it's
Dude,
like
it's Samurai
Dracula,
Dracula Frankenstein, dude.
samurai Dracula
Samurai
Frankenstein.
Dracula, Samurai Dracula, Frankenstein wizard.
It's like,
There
yeah,
you
my
go.
character's OP.
The most little kid sounding shit ever, but it was tight as fuck.
Right.
God damn it, George.
That's what you do. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna make the coolest motherfucker ever.
I um aside an aside here. It's related tangentially, but I shared those images from that Godzilla's Monster Piece Theater comic book,
Okay.
and the, and he like the idea is it's silly and it's fun, but it's like a bunch of classic literary characters kind of form an Avengers of sorts to take on Godzilla,
Right.
and one of them I don't know why I didn't pick it out, but they show it in the actual issue is Dracula, and so you have some of this in there, and like when he stares, like it's similar to this where like with the Bela Lugosi thing is everything was dark, but like a line around his eyes
Yes.
were shining. In the comic book, it's like it's dark around him, but his eyes are like shining, or there's like a red line across his eyes.
Yes, I saw that page, and he has his three
Yeah.
wives there looking at him, and
Yep. And I was just like, dude, I know where they got this from, dude.
yeah, yeah, that was really cool. That comic
Yep.
does seem really interesting, and then like Sherlock, and then like uh,
Sherlock Holmes, fucking
Jules Verne, Cyborg.
Cyborg, dude. It's so silly and fun. Oh, god damn it. It's beside the point.
Yeah, remind people what that is again. It's the
Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater by Tom Scioli. It's great.
What year was
Go
that?
to your shop and get it. It just came out this week.
Oh, it looks
Legit.
so like old fashioned though.
Yeah, he does that purposely. He applies that kind of old style and filter to his stuff.
It looks so great.
Yep. It's a blast. The first issue was a blast.
Awesome.
Fucking Sherlock Holmes when he's like, I'm gonna go fucking London. Gatsby's like, yeah, this is all without context, but Great Gatsby's like, I'm gonna go fucking London, and then fucking to talk to Sherlock Holmes, and you meet him, and he's standing in like a wheat field, and there's a big Godzilla footprint in the wheat field that he's standing in the middle of, and it says Sherlock Holmes, and it zooms in on him. He's got his pipe, and he's just like, the game's afoot. I fucking laughed so hard, dude. Oh shit, it's a blast. Go get it. Everyone, go get it. But yeah, it was a little digress sesh in the middle of talking about Dracula.
But he's involved, so I mean, Dracula. If you want to see Dracula fight Godzilla,
yeah, dude, check it out.
Do you find that both of these films ended kind of at a weird spot? It's like they kind of just like fizzle out. Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely, it's like they didn't know how to end the shit yet. Because Frankenstein's similar. Same year, right?
Same year.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think they hadn't figured out how to fucking end a movie yet. You know what I mean?
They're like, yeah, we're still new to this.
No. Yeah. What I find interesting too, so these came out the same year. Boris Karloff goes on to have like an excellent career outside of doing Frankenstein stuff, right? Outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Bela Lugosi ends up getting typecasted into oblivion, essentially.
But he does great as like Igor or like the apprentice kind of characters.
He played a gypsy person in Wolfman as well. But yeah, dude couldn't find. But I guess it didn't help that his voice is his voice, and so it just sounds like Dracula is talking all the time. I get that. Boris Karloff had was afforded the positive thing of not really talking and
doing
being
like
buried under being buried under prosthetics, even though it's still obviously Boris Karloff. Like, he was buried under prosthetics too, so it's like you could ignore it more. But yeah, fucking Bela Lugosi just had a hard ass time after this, finding shit that wasn't just, trying to put him in another horror thing or something similar.
Well, that's something that I've talked with Wilson about, and maybe you were there, but like, characters or actors that are known for a specific character, and like that's what the whole audience knows them by, and like call them by that name because they know them by that. I see it as like
a blessing and a curse.
It's so culturally like relevant to like be like, yeah, that's like a definitive Dracula. He was a definitive Dracula. And like a lot of people, when they emulate him or emulate Dracula, I want to suck your blood. Like they do that voice.
Every like the image in the mind of everybody when you think of Count Dracula is the Bela Lugosi Dracula, right? Like it's got the cape, it's got the fucking medallion, it's got the fucking widow's peak shit going on. It looks like him, you know what I mean? Like it's always the Bela Lugosi, down to the Count from Sesame Street, right?
Yep.
One bat. You know what I mean? Like it's doing the Bela Lugosi voice.
Mm-hmm.
Which it works because turns out he's actually Hungarian, right? And it takes place in hungry. So,
but yeah, like it's probably bittersweet to not
yeah,
have like
but he loved
being typecast, but like
yeah.
you're seen and you're beloved by like a lot of people, and it was such a formidable, like maybe it was just like the best um, role for that guy. Then he just knocked it out of the park and just
Yeah.
I don't know, like
It,
I
it seems like to me
it
what
could
I've
be
seen
frustrating, but
from what little I've read about it, that there was some sort of like the duality or dichotomy or whatever it is between the two, where it's like he loved that role, but at the same time, like he probably resented it a little bit, and it made it hard for him to like get other roles outside of stuff like that.
true.
Uh, but like I said, he's very. I think he was. He seemed very proud of the role to the point where he was requested to be buried in the Dracula cape. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in the Dracula costume. He got buried in the Dracula costume.
That's
So
baller as shit.
yeah. I mean, dude, like I said, you watching this movie, dude's got swag times a million. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you? When he gets that top hat, dude, sheesh.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that top hat. When he like actually gets in London and he's just like just chilling outside that house, like just watching those
Yeah,
ladies, like oh yeah.
yeah, dude, got that fucking top hat on, dude. Yeah, that dude's got it.
Yeah, the
But
hypnosis. Like we did talk about the other powers, I guess that
yeah,
Dracula has had throughout the years, and
yep,
the like maybe they talk about it in the book. Like I haven't read it. Maybe I should
yeah,
go back now and read it. I know I've read Frankenstein. I have
right,
multiple. I have different versions of it. Obviously, I have
right,
Junji's, and then I have the leather
yeah,
bound like Barnes and Noble one. But the
right,
powers that he has and he exemplifies, or that he has like in this movie, he like can hypnotize women,
mm-hmm.
tell like command them to do things for him. He can turn into a bat. He turns into a
Yeah,
wolf. Like Harkin like watches him like, hey, there's a big dog. He's like, oh, you mean
yeah,
a wolf?
yep,
Yeah, that. It's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just running.
He can not just hypnotize women; he can hypnotize dudes too.
Yeah, but
He was
he failed against, you
he
know,
failed against Van Helsing, but it's just because he had a strong will.
he
You
had
know
a
what I
very
mean?
strong will.
Which
But
could be a
yeah,
derogatory thing about women that they don't have very strong wills, but still.
yeah, that's a sign of its time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other powers that he hates are he hates crosses and he hates Wolf's
Yeah.
Bane. Um,
Wolfsbane not garlic in this. That's why I wonder where garlic gets, because like I just assume all the vampire shit that is like mainstream vampire shit originated here. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But it doesn't all. So like garlic's not in there. And like
it's
you never see
yeah,
him with vampire teeth, right? You never
right,
see that
right.
in this movie. It's
But
like
you do
but to
notice that
me,
there
it's
are two
still
bite marks, right? They're just
yes, there's always bite marks, but you never see it, right?
mm-hmm,
It's just the visual aspect. You assume there was a visual representation of that in this, but it wasn't. So I
mm-hmm.
wonder. I mean, obviously Nosferatu had the two big pointy teeth in the front,
Yep,
but
like the
but I wonder what the first movie is to show like your classic vampire teeth. You know what I mean?
sure. And I looked it up, and the sulfur in garlic has some kind of property to like
I don't know. Yeah.
to just
So,
they just get hurt by it. They don't like I don't know.
right.
It's not like a kryptonite where it'll eventually kill you or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll
It's
just
just
like
something that bugs the shit out of them. I
right.
wonder if it's like because it's sulfur often has association with like hell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's like because it's a it's a reflection. It reminds them of that or does something whatever to them physically because of that association. You know,
Right. Um,
them being
Another thing that pop culture and just other media has portrayed vampires as like being very fast. This dude was
yes,
not that. This dude was
no,
like chilling, just walking around. Like
slow lurking, dude.
Yeah, he's a slow
He's like
lurker.
he's just looming behind you. Or is it Freddy? No, not Freddy. Or is it Michael Myers? It's Michael Myers that never runs, right?
Right. Yeah, he just walks.
He just walks slow. He's like that. He just fucking it's because like part of it too is Dracula like using his powers that he has. He doesn't need to fucking run.
No, he doesn't have to get anywhere quick. He's undead. He can waste all the time in the world.
He uses his fucking natural Riz powers, and then his fucking hypnotization stuff, and like he doesn't have to chase people. He just draws them into him.
Yep, and that's another thing where he is needed to like let into places. You've heard that, right? Like you need permission.
Where did that come from?
Exactly.
Then that's another thing from we were obviously it's got folklore origins, but like we were introduced to it in pop culture somehow. I'm wondering what that was as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a interesting thing to just think of where we got the stuff that didn't come from here.
Right, and in other things, I'm just thinking of other places I've seen vampires portrayed, and they don't like running water. It doesn't have to be blessed water. It just it's a running water. Just running water boils them.
I mean, maybe like running water signifies life a lot of times, so maybe that's the symbology of that has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's talked about, but the sun turning them into stone. Have you heard them turn to stone or ash?
Burning. Yeah, ash. Every time I see stuff like that, they get like burnt up. They either start on fire or turn to ash, or
that would have been cool to see something like that, like an immolation scene. Where
there's no hint of that in this. Yeah,
we just know that when the sun goes down, then he's got to go. Or when the sun comes up, he needs to go find refuge in his shelter, in his coffin.
And some of this too leads to, like we were kind of talking during this, how they sometimes like a lot of vampire things, not all vampires have not all vampires have all of the powers that Dracula has. You know what I mean? It's not like a consistent across all vampires.
Like his wives. His wives seem like they want to suck blood, and Renfield wants some blood.
Yep. And like some things treat like his hypnotism, for example. Like there's a lot of things that treat that as a thing that's special to Dracula, not like all vampires.
Right.
# not all vampires. And like it's interesting how like they're just like, no, he just gets that power. Everyone else just doesn't. They don't have to deal with that. It's weird.
This is one of my favorite shots of Dwight Fry. Was that what his name is? Renfield? Just staring up at when he was in the Demeter basement, just waiting. There's the other lore piece where Van Helsing was talking to one of the other guys about like, oh wait, so you're talking about like he has to go home to Transylvania to go to bed? Like, nah, he probably brought some soil in some boxes.
That's something that you don't get in other vampire shit. Like, there's a lot of shit from vampires lore that isn't in this, but there's shit like that that's not in like other vampire stuff.
Right, and what?
That's something I don't see. I just see motherfuckers going to sleep in coffins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you would recommend other vampire movies, what would they be? Like, what are your favorite vampire movies?
Vampire movie shit, dude. Fucking Blade 2.
It counts. It counts.
Yeah.
No pun intended there.
Guillermo del Toro, my guy. Come on. Let's see what else. I mean, the other Dracula that we watched.
Yeah, that's a great one.
The Coppola one. Um, I don't. It's tough because then like trying to think of what else. The other movies, vampire movies that just pop into my head are the big guys. It's like a fucking like Interview with a Vampire. I've maybe seen that once.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever see that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it.
No, yeah. I don't remember. What's the one that has Willem Dafoe playing Max Shrek, but he's actually really
Oh, Curse?
Nosferatu? Is that what that is?
I think it's Curse. Curse of the
That one
Vampire.
was kind of fun. Yeah, Curse of the Vampire. Yeah, that one's kind of fun.
It is. That
Just
one's
because
hilarious because, like, who is that? Who else is in that? Like, John Malkovich?
maybe I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
He plays the
Very long.
director of it.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that.
Um,
What else?
One that you should watch, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely suggest everybody watch Fright Night.
Oh yeah, Fright Night. Fright Night's good.
The 80s one.
Fright Night.
Watch
Yep.
the oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
Oh, and the Hammer Dracula stuff too with Chris Lee.
Yes, and Peter Cushing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those are great too.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about those.
Maybe I'm thinking of Curse of the is one with Nick Cage?
Nick Cage is in Renfield.
No, he's in another vampire movie, I think.
Is he? I believe it, but he plays Dracula in Renfield, which it's dumb, but it's kind of fun. That movie. Nicholas Hoult is Renfield.
Right.
And yeah,
it's another allegory for like sexual like Vampire's Kiss is what
Vampire's Kiss. There it is. Yep.
is the Nick Cage 1988 one.
Yep.
Where he makes that weird Nick Cage face like, huh?
Yeah, I think because like Renfield has like powers, if I remember correctly. So I think he punched someone at one point and they like exploded. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, because you're given status, and they talk about it a little bit where in Fright Night, the caretaker of the house while the vampire guy is sleeping, he's like the familiar, or he's like, I mean, you've seen What We Do in the Shadows. He's like he's the kid that takes care of.
What You Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, he's basically the guy that looks after the vampires as they sleep.
Right.
And they get some boons or some like buffs from, they don't get fully vampiric, but they get some kind of super strength and like a kind of power to like help out.
Right.
I mean, they have to lift coffins around all the time with dead weight in them, so you got to give them some kind of superpower.
Shit ton of dirt, dude. Come on. But those are good ones to bring up too. Then is What We Do in the Shadows, both the movie and the TV show.
Yeah, because I mean, the movie was hilarious. How it like portrayed those tropes, and it even went into the werewolf tropes, where like the werewolf crew would be like peeing in like public, like just acting like dogs everywhere they go, and they're like, oh, that's really barbaric. And then the idea of, and this was brought up in What We Do in the Shadows, but whenever a vampire eats human food, they vomit it up.
Yes.
And in this, he talks about like, I don't drink wine.
Yep. I've heard other things where they're like they eat if they eat food, it tastes like ash. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
Yes.
I mean, it's genre as fuck, but like Buffy's also fun.
Oh sure, yeah.
A lot of vampire shit in that. Yeah.
And these are ones worth watching or worth like True Blood. Did you get into that at all? No. That was a big thing.
So I'm not getting too much into the like romantic side of it, which I'm not as big on. So
there were cool scenes, but it was kind of just like a blood fest for the sake of blood fest, and sex and blood and vampires.
Yeah. That's there's also there's like an Anne Rice show or two on right now too. One that's, I don't know if it's Interview with a Vampire. Is it Interview with a Vampire?
It is. Yep.
That, and there's another one I think that has Alexandria Daddario in it.
Oh, really? Is it a vampire movie or a show?
I think so. I could be misremembering, but I swear it's connected to that somehow. That's another Anne Rice show or something, but
okay.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't think vampires are going away. I think they're here to stay. No. They've made such a cultural impact with everything, video games.
That's a lot of things people can relate to or like understand the primal aspect of it. They can get.
Yeah. And to think it all came from this guy that like impaled people.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. What would you think Vlad Tepes would think about this, dude?
It's like, wait, what?
Fucking Hungarian dude in Wallachia, fucking just being a warlord after taking over after his brother dies. And then fucking, yeah, you think he gets exiled a time or two, like, yeah, dude. And then they're like, hey, dude, you're on fucking cereal boxes now, bro.
your chocolate marshmallow, like what?
Yeah, there's a cartoon chocolate ass version of you that's homaging another fictitious version of you on a fucking cereal box. What cereal, first of all?
What? Yeah, explaining things like to somebody like that had like this brutal life, like, oh yeah, we cutified you. Like what?
Yeah, there's a parody of you that teaches little kids how to count.
What a legacy to have. Like, yeah, but I impaled people. Wild. Yeah, we don't care. You count now. You teach kids to count.
Hundreds of years ago. this motherfucker just turned into some truly wild shit compared to where he started from.
Well, I think that's what we're gonna leave it for tonight. Good discussion all around. Sorry Wilson couldn't stay awake, but everybody has to get into a dream soul at some point.
See numerous past videos for me in my fucking dream soul.
Right.
Hey, at least I had the consideration to make noises, right? Yeah. I'm kidding. Sleep tight, Wilson. And sleep tight, everybody.
Yeah, don't let the children of the night keep you awake.
Dude, one of the most ballin' lines of all time.
Yeah. That was a great line. And yeah, stay tuned for other spooky things this holiday. We maybe have one more movie to watch. I mean, we're getting down to the wire here.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. We got one more.
It's a pumpkin carving time soon. We gotta get these pumpkins out and get them on the...
I went to carve I think the last pumpkin I carved was of Finn from Adventure Time when water's splashing on him. You know what I'm talking about?
You have to post the picture.
Yeah,
I can imagine it where it's like his face, right? His like
water. Yeah,
it's a grimace face or something. Yeah, I got you.
I did that in my basement on my pool table while watching OG Star Trek. Tight.
So yeah, we'll come back. We'll watch the Wolfman. I think that's a good one to finish it off on, and then
it's the classic trio.
It is. It definitely is. Every time you go to like a Burger King or McDonald's and they do like a Halloween themed thing, you get like Mummy or Wolfman.
Those three and then Mummy. It's for sure Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, and then Mummy.
And then Mummy. And then the Invisible Man, maybe, and then Creature.
Yeah. Creature, yeah, my boy. Gilman.
But yeah, have a good spooky Halloween and stay safe, and we'll be back with more.
Bleh.
Bleh. Yeah, where'd bleh come from?
Yeah, that wasn't in here either. What the fuck?